All right, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing an accuracy test. So we're still going to be using the VFC Mark 17 gas blowback rifle. And in addition, we're going to be chronoing each different BB type that we're using. So we're going to start with .28s, I go to .32, and then a .36. I have some targets down there set up on the wall. Each one is labeled .28, .32, and .36. And we're just going to kind of get an idea of what the difference in accuracy is with basically a completely stock gas blowback rifle. All right, first up is the chrono. We're going to be starting with the .28s, 407.4, 402.1, 402.3. There we go. We're going to move to the .32s. 403.5, 389.7, 391.3, and now for the .36s, 381.4, 380.3, 374.5. All right, and now we will actually get into the accuracy portion of the test. So we're going to be shooting from a bag just to eliminate the possibility of really any variable. And moving from left to right, we have the .28s, the .32s, and the .36s. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so .28s. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very cool. Okay, so now .32s. I'm going for the middle target now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, gotta hold this time. 5. Okay. Now, .36s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I think that pretty much does it. We'll go take a look at the results and see how we did. All right, here are the results. Also, I should have made it clear, the gun is currently tuned for the .32s. That's what I've been using at the field. So here's the .28s, two fairly close together here in the lower left-hand corner, but that's all that's on paper. .32s, again, the gun is already set up for these, so I was expecting to get a pretty good group, and sure enough, we did. Now, the .36s I'm a little surprised by. One, there's only 4 on paper, and I actually fired a total of 6. So I'm actually really curious. I'm going to rule out the .28s at this point. I think that the gun just shoots a little hot for those. But I think what I'm going to try and do is set up the gun to shoot the .36s, and I'm going to shoot another group with the .36s. All right, so I spent a minute, dialed the hop a little bit for the .36s. I think I've got a better idea of where I need to be holding on the target, so I'm going to go ahead and actually now fire another group at the .36 target, and we'll see how we do. Here we go. Far right target, because that's the .36 target. Got a new hold. You're gonna see how she shoots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think I potentially see an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back over to the .28 target. Because I think I may have over-adjusted the hop, which means I'm now overcompensating for my shots. So let's actually go back to the .28 target, and we're going to use that. One. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right, now I think we've got a group that we can use on our .28 target. So let's go take a look at the results again. So this time, actually, my aim point was in between these two. So I was aiming right in between the black tape here and our center bullseye. And if I'm not mistaken, the shot order was 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is actually 2 impacts. So you'll see that in the up close video, that it was, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what I was hoping to see from the gun with .36s. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shoot one final group with the .36s. I've got a fresh target out there, and then that I think will kind of be our final target. But if the gun can print like this with the .36s, I will probably end up using the .36s and work on making sure that the velocities stay consistent. Back outside one more time. We're going to shoot that final group with the .36s, and I think that will be our decisive endpoint for this video. So we've got more .36s loaded up. We've got one fresh target over there. Let's see how we do. All right, we've got one final target out there. Let's see how we do. One. 2. 3. 4. 5. Let's go see how we did. All right, guys, we're walking up to the target now. I felt good about it. It's hard to see through that 3x scope, but let's see how we did. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. That is what I'm talking about. So this is maybe 2 inches of vertical dispersion, maybe 2.5, and 1 and change of horizontal. That is an awesome group. That is what I was hoping to get. That is so cool. Okay, cool. And this is at a measured 75 feet. That is where we're shooting from over there. And this is where we are. So awesome. Let's jump into conclusions. All right, so conclusion time. Did we learn anything? I'd say more than anything, we've proven existing knowledge, which is that the heavier the BB, generally, the more accurate you're gonna get. If you haven't seen Explosive Enterprise's video on BB weight, I would highly recommend that you go watch it. It goes pretty in depth into why you want to use pretty much the heaviest BB you can. There is sort of a diminishing return once you start getting up above around 0.36. You start to increase your time of flight, which in theory gives your enemy or whoever you're shooting at the opportunity to potentially dodge more easily. But basically the difference between a 0.2 and a 0.36, you're not really losing anything practically. inside of 150 or so feet. So the way that this gun is set up right now, it is designed for a DMR roll. So these .36s are going to, I think, probably be the BB that stays in this gun from now on. But let's talk about the actual results. So we'll start here on the left. So the first result that we've got here is these two X's in the lower left-hand corner. These were the only two BBs that made it on paper with the .28s. It's hard a little bit to tell exactly where those that missed ended up, even with the close-up video. So the .28s, I've run them in this gun, just doesn't seem to like them very much. So I'm pretty much gonna rule these out. We'll come back to this target in a minute to discuss those other hits as well. And then we've got .32s, Old Reliable. This is what the gun has been shooting in matches, and it shoots them relatively well. These .32s form a totally acceptable group. We shot this today at 75 feet. 75 feet is the minimum engagement distance at my local field for a DMR. So this is a very practical exam for me. I can see, okay, as long as they're within 75 feet, you know, this is a pretty tight group. It'd be hard, you know, even if you could only see somebody's head, for example, you could pretty well put that onto somebody's head. So happy with this. These BBs are also significantly cheaper than the .36s. So I think I'm probably going to continue to buy these .32s as maybe either a backup or a supplementary item for in case I'm running low on .36s. Then we get to the .36s, and this is where I think we're going to get into learning something today. So these groups aren't very good. There's just no real way to put it. So this is the original group that we shot, and it is, if you compare it to the .32s, maybe as tall, maybe a little bit taller and a little bit wider. Generally speaking, not very good, you know, for what you'd expect from a heavier BB. We then adjusted the hop up very slightly, and we got better horizontal dispersion, but still very poor vertical dispersion. So the circles were the first group, the squares were the second group. And then I spent a little time really dialing the hop up and fine-tuning it, and that is when we shot our best .36 group. But before we get to that, I just want to make it clear, using a heavier BB will generally result in better accuracy. Putting a heavier BB in your gun and expecting it to just shoot better magically, not really the case. So just like with a real firearm, you kind of have to work your way around whatever, in this case, BB weight or cartridge, or I should say bullet weight that you're trying to shoot out of a gun. So after we spent a little time fine-tuning the hop up, messing with the sight just a little bit, we shot this group, which is significantly tighter than anything we've shown so far. And the reason I wanted to come back to this is because those circles you see near the bullseye, including these, and this is actually 2 shots, this was the group that after we kind of messed with the hop up a little bit, we ended up shooting this group, which is still really good. And I believe the shot order, if I'm not mistaken, was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 again. Really tough to complain about a group like that. And then we further were able to fine tune it, and again, we ended up with this, which is a fantastic group. I don't honestly think that maybe, yes, with a slightly heavier BB, I could shoot an even tighter group, but for 75 feet, this is an excellent group. Very happy with the performance. So in conclusion, I think that we proved the existing point, which is that yes, a heavier BB, you will generally get better accuracy, but you as the shooter are going to have to do a little bit of fine-tuning and tweaking to make sure that your gun and your hop-up, and in this case the gas system, is really set up for that weight BB. Otherwise, yeah, you might end up with groups like this and be really disappointed with the accuracy. So anyway, appreciate you watching if you made it this far. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm happy to share any knowledge that I have, and look forward to seeing you back on the channel. Thanks.